Welcome to the Jenspiration Conversation. My name is Jennifer. If this is the first time that one of my videos has landed in your feed, I very much welcome you to this space. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for stepping foot into my little corner of the internet slash YouTube. I appreciate it very much. It means that the universe put this in your feed for a reason, basically saying, hey, there's something in this video for you today that you need to watch or be aware of. Returning viewers and subscribers, I cannot express to you how much I appreciate you coming back to sit and have another Jenspiration conversation. So much so, in fact, last night, right before I went to bed, I just quickly checked my analytics on a video, and someone left probably the nicest compliment that I could have ever received. And I don't think that that person realizes how much that sentence meant to me. So if you are watching this video, you know who you are because I commented back. It brought me to tears because it just kind of solidified that I'm not sitting here for no reason. There's a purpose, and I'm aligning with that purpose. So to that viewer, thank you very much. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet, but this video required a couch conversation. So you'll see that we're somewhere different. Usually I face the window, but today I was like, no, we're going to get comfortable because we're going to get into it. So if you need to pause me and get a drink or whatever, do that because we're going there today. That actually might be the title of the video, like, we're going there today. And what I mean by that is we're going to touch on relationships, namely romantic relationships. So yeah, buckle up. But the lessons that they teach us around self-love, self-value, and leaning into what makes you you and how you love and how you deserve to be loved. There is a bit of an epidemic right now where there are so many people bumping around into each other, all claiming that they want a deep emotional connection, and they're looking for their soulmate and they're looking for their person, but they're not willing to do any work to get there. It is very much a what's next epidemic. It's a very much a, if you're on the dating apps, which I'm not, I haven't been on them for 8 years, a swiping just to see what's next. There's people swiping as a game, like it's ridiculous. Situationships, we're at the talking stage, we hang out. Listen, if that's making you happy, then this video's not for you, okay? If that is how you are choosing to operate and live your life, I wish you well. This video is for individuals who are serious about finding their person, but let's replace the word finding with attracting their person. The best thing that you can do to attract your person is to work on yourself, because we call in vibrationally what we think we deserve. So if you sit with yourself for a minute and look back at the pattern of the relationships that you've had, and while they may physically look different, there's probably a pattern with the types of individuals that the universe has sent you, because this is Earth School. Just did a video on Earth School if you want to watch that after this. Every single person that is brought into our life is here for a lesson or a reason or a season. Some people stay your entire life. Some people stay a very short time. Some people stay for a season. Some people stay for a reason. Some people stay for a lesson. Most of those are through our family, our friends, but a good chunk of them are through our romantic partners. If you are someone who has not taken any stock in who you are, what you truly want, how you love, and how you want to be loved, you will continue to just bump into the exact same person in a different font. Because the universe is trying to get you to go here. The universe wants you, your soul wants you to come back home and figure out what it is that you truly want. Once you have that figured out, you can heal the parts of you that were drawn to aspects that you don't want. For example, I've said this before, I have spent all of my adult life pursuing and chasing emotionally unavailable men. And that pattern didn't emerge until just a couple of years ago. I chased relentlessly and I pursued relentlessly. I poised and perfected and masked myself and made sure I was exactly who I thought that person wanted me to be. I negated a lot of things that I was looking for, and I'd be like, okay, well, he likes me enough. I can work with this, right? I'm an empath, so I'm like, well, he's going through something, or I know he actually feels this way, but he doesn't say it because, emotions are hard for him to process. I would excuse behavior because I wanted my person so badly, or I liked them so much that I was willing to overlook all of the reasons that they weren't a good match for me. And it's until you take time to heal the reason that you chase or pursue, for me, emotionally unavailable people, that the pattern will just continue to repeat itself over and over and over again. So there are millions of people in the world right now in relationships that don't fulfill them. They're in relationships where they are bending over and pretzeling themselves and masking how they truly feel, because their self-worth is so low that they think, whoa, this shiny person here has a little bit of interest in me. I'm going to pursue that or chase that or mold myself to be who that person wants me to be, because I don't value myself enough to know that I deserve more, or I should sit back and say to myself, wait, do I even like this person? And that's something that I did for a long time. I performed so much to make sure that the men in my life liked me that I forgot to check in to be like, do I even like this person? I immediately went into a mode of, I can't snap my fingers. I went into a mode of making sure I was everything that they were looking for without taking a beat to be like, do I even like this person? Here I am doing everything to make sure they like me, but I don't even think I like this person that much. And it turns out I didn't. I kept I keep using the word pretzeling, but I kept molding myself and creating this persona based on a lack of self-worth, based on a lack of authenticity. I thought I had to be a certain way, look a certain way, say certain things, be interested in certain things, because I wasn't interesting enough just as I was. And it's not something that I just woke up one day and behaved that way. It's been just something I've done since I was a kid. I did it because I wanted people to like me. I went into people-pleasing mode. I needed to please the adults in my life. I needed to please my teachers and my friends and my friends' friends and my friends' parents. I just wanted to be liked so badly that I just turned into a chameleon in every situation I was in. I made sure that I performed enough that people liked me. And then when you do that for so long, you forget who you are. You become so far removed from your authenticity that I had to relearn myself. And my spiritual awakenings have taught me that. I had to relearn who I was, relearn what I'm looking for in a relationship, relearn how I love and how I deserve to be loved, and how the divine feminine in me is learning to receive rather than chase. And listen, girls, feminists, you can come for me all you want to, but we are not meant to chase. That is not the divine order of the universe. Women are not meant to pursue. Okay, I'm just going to say it. We are meant to hold space for things to come into our life, but they can only come in when you've healed your masculine and you step into your divine feminine. And once I was able to heal the part of me that felt this need to relentlessly pursue, I have been able to step back and go, okay, the more I chase something, the more resistance it creates. The more I chase this person, the more I try to please him, the more I tried to do for him, the less he did for me and the further away he got from me, because it's not natural. It is not the natural state of the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And listen, if you are gay or lesbian or bi or whatever, it doesn't matter. What I'm talking about is the energy of divine femininity and divine masculine. So even if you are two men in a relationship, one of you will step into a divine feminine energy and one of you will step into a divine masculine. It's the yin and the yang. It's the up and the down. It's the front and the back. It's the day and the night. You have to have the balance. You can't have two divine masculines. You can't have two divine feminines. One needs to embody one and the other needs to embody the other for the balance to work in a reciprocal relationship. So I was heavy in my masculine because I chased and pursued men relentlessly for my entire adult life. I would put myself where I think my crush would be, or I would say yes to half-assed attempts, or be so quick to forgive if, they canceled plans last minute, or whatever the case was. I negated all of the little inklings that my divine feminine was sending me, like, girl, this doesn't feel right. And there's a reason that your body sends you those signals. And man, I feel like I need like 16 videos to go into all these different aspects. But ladies, divine feminines, I need you to hear me right now. The last relationship I was in was not anything that I deserved, needed, wanted, whatever, okay? It took me 6 short months to figure that out. My body was sending me signals, and I only saw it after I was out of the relationship, okay? I'm not going to get into it too much on YouTube, but I need you to hear me. Do some research on this. There were physical symptoms that my body was physically rejecting this person's energy. I developed some, I'm just going to say symptoms, and not like crazy diseases or anything, but there were symptoms showing up for me, Google them, that I only saw after. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was my divine feminine completely rejecting that person's energy. This is how not aligned I was with this person. There was a strong imbalance in that relationship, and it was the final test that the universe brought me to teach me that final lesson around self-worth, boundaries, and listening to what I know I deserve. And I'll tell you, there were 2 points in that relationship that, what time am I at here? Okay. There were 2 points in that relationship that completely drilled it home for me. And I'm going to give you these examples because if you are in a relationship right now that is unbalanced, energetically doesn't feel right, if you feel like you're contorting yourself to make another person happy, here's why. You may be able to relate to this. The very first example of when I was like, okay, this is not the person for me. I was over at his home. He was sitting on a couch like this, and the way his home was designed is it was open concept, and the kitchen was over there, and there was a little island, and I was standing at the island making us a snack like I always did. Fruits, vegetables, dip, whatever. I'm cutting. And he asked me about my day. And I proceed to tell him something that I was dealing with. And at the time, it was very upsetting. And as I'm cutting pieces of celery, I start to cry. And I'm mid-story, and he is not that far away from me. And the TV's not on, but he was a weed smoker, so he was smoking weed. And he didn't even look up at me when I started to cry, because I was telling him the story. And I could feel my throat chakra closing, but I forced myself to tell him the story. I was like, no, share this with him. Open up. Maybe he'll be helpful. When I say this man didn't even get up from the couch to come over and console me, the man didn't move. He continued to roll his papers and was just like, oh yeah? And then he got quiet. He didn't even look over and acknowledge that I was crying. He didn't even come over and console me. He didn't offer any emotional availability whatsoever. So I was standing in that kitchen completely vulnerable. And then I shut it down. I was like, yep, see, this is what happens. This is what happens, Jennifer, when you try to be authentic. This is what happens. So I shut it down. I was like, okay, no, can't go there. Dang, the mask slipped. I'm not the perfect girlfriend anymore. I let him see a part of me he hadn't seen. And I let the mask slip. So I put the mask back on and I walked over and I fed the man because that's what I do. And I just proceeded along with my day. Looking back on that now, I call that like my turning point, because that's when it started to chip away at me. Like my soul started to scream and say, you deserve better than this. You deserve better than this. This man wasn't even giving you the bare minimum, and you still continued to help him, support him, nurture him, guide him. I was helping this man rise. I was helping him flourish. I was nourishing his soul with my energy, and I was getting less than 0 in return. And it was one of the biggest lessons for me of self-worth, because once I was out of that relationship and I looked back at it and I thought to myself, wow, that's what you thought you deserved. So I had to take a lot of time to heal the parts of me that thought that that's what I deserved. In that moment, why did I think I deserved that? And then you go down a rabbit hole of healing and understanding and crying and figuring it out. So that now, sitting here in front of you, a year and 8 months later after I dumped his ass, I can tell you about it with 0 emotion. I'm not going to cry about it. But I look back at her and I tell her often, I'm like, girl, you just didn't know what you didn't know at the time, right? And we've gotten better. And I talked to her. She's only, a year and a half ago, Jennifer. But part of the healing is that you can talk to those versions of yourself that just didn't know and was just existing in this space of survival because that's what you had done your whole life. So whatever relationship that you're in right now, or even if you're single and you're out there relentlessly trying to pursue and find your person, listen to me carefully. I am 100% sure that your soulmate or your person will want to spend time with you. I am 100% sure that your person will call you. I'm 100% sure that your person will text you and show up for you and make plans for you and listen to you and hug you and protect you and value you and want to learn you every single day of their life. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I am 100% sure that your person will not make you question yourself, will not make you look at a message or a lack of message and go down this rabbit hole of a tailspin. Your person won't do that. I am 100% sure that your person will do all of the things that you deserve and that you know you deserve. So, if you are in a situationship right now and it's hot and it's cold and it's off and it's on, bye. Exit stage left. Because you know your person wouldn't behave that way. And you know that the person that you want to be in that beautiful, fulfilling relationship is not the one that would settle for less than. There's an absolutely beautiful quote that I have carried with me for a very long time. The woman's name is Maureen Dowd, who said it. She said, the minute we settle for less than we deserve, we get even less than we settled for. I'm pausing to let that sink in. The minute you settle for less than, so if you are here, if your bar is here for the kind of person you want, but you settle for down here, Maureen's quote is beautiful. The minute you settle for less than you deserve, you're going to get even less than that. Because the person now knows where your boundary is. The person knows, like, I don't do very much and this person sticks around, which is exactly what happened with the person I was dating, my ex. He knew that I kept lowering my bar, so he just kept giving less. So to Maureen's quote, the minute you drop your boundary and you settle for less than what you know you deserve, you're going to get even less than that. Now, I know I told you I'd give you the other example, but It's a long story, and I'll save that for another time. I think you get my point, because my brain just went to, oh, I only gave you one example. I also need to check the time, because my my camera cuts out at 29 minutes. I need a little drink. Hold on. A little Diet Coke action. So, what's the premise of this video? The premise of this video is to tell you that I and your soul wholeheartedly know that your soulmate, your divine counterpart, your divine partner, whoever you call them, I 100% know that your person will call you, and they'll make plans, and they'll want to see you, and they'll want to text you, and they'll want to spend time with you, and they'll want to buy you things and take you places and show you off and do all of those things. Whatever it is that you're looking for, your person will do all of that. So how about we all stop settling for less? Okay, let's stop settling for less. So if you are in a relationship or the talking stage, listen, I'm a Gen Xer and I can't keep up with all of your guys' new phrases for things. It's all nonsense. In my mind, it's all nonsense. Talking stage. I'm sort of seeing this person. I hang out with this person. What is that? It's a way for people to get away with giving you less than. So if someone says to you, well, we're just hanging out, cool. If that's not what you want, exit stage left. Because that's all they're willing to give you. And the minute you settle for that, they're going to start giving you less. If a person says, well, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, effing believe them, okay? If a person says, I just want to keep it casual, and you don't want something casual, exit stage left, okay? Because, again, the minute this person tells you where they're at and you think, oh, I can change them, or I'm just going to love them more, or I'm just going to do more for them and it'll help them come up. No, it won't. They are telling you where they are vibrating, where their energy is, and if it's not a match, exit stage left. Because you need to free up space in your life for the energetic match that is headed your way, for the energetic frequency of the person you are meant to be with to come into your life. You need to do work on yourself, but free up some space so that the energetic match can head your way. Okay, I have to keep an eye on. You know what? I'm just going to stop it and restart it. Hold on one sec. There we go. I just didn't want to get cut off mid-sentence. Healing allows you to release. It allows you to open up space in your heart. It allows you to free up space in your mind. Because if you're looking at text messages and you're, sending them to your friends and you're trying to decipher what a person means and you're going around and around and around and around in your mind, listen, the person you are meant for and who is meant for you will not have you second guessing a text or an exclamation mark or an LOL. Okay? It's kind of that simple. And that's why we're going here in today's message. I really want this for you. I want you to get out of the muck and the mud that you find yourself in these sticky situationships, talking stages, whatever. Listen to me. Heal the parts of yourself that are drawn to it. Heal the parts of, maybe you are someone who is very controlling, okay? Why do you feel the need to control everything? And I'm saying this because I know someone who's in a relationship with a woman who's extremely controlling. I have asked that person, I've said, hey, let's take a look at why you are attracted to this particular behavior and why you allow her to control your every move. Because I'm pretty sure that the person meant for you wouldn't treat you that way and be looking in your phone and on your social media and calling you every 3 minutes to see where you are and where you've left and tracking you and all of this crazy behavior. I'm pretty sure that your person would not behave that way. But let's unpack why you are staying and why you are attracted to a person who behaves that way. So maybe you are someone who feels the need to control things. Maybe you grew up in a house that was very chaotic, and the only thing that you thought you could control was you and your immediate environment, so you had to survive. Maybe you need to unpack that, right? There's all kinds of reasons why we behave the way we do and why we attract the things that we attract, but it's never about the other person, guys. It's always about us. Okay, so I attracted emotionally unavailable men because I grew up in a household with emotionally unavailable parents. Ta-da! And once I did the work on that and healed that, then I understood why I chased for so long. Now I have fully stepped into allowing this space for an energetic match of a man to come in and join my frequency. I am, and if you don't like the word holding, just forget it, but I'm holding space. Doesn't mean I'm waiting, but I am holding space for his energy to come in and match mine. And we will be energetically aligned when we're energetically aligned. When he's meant to join my frequency, that's when it's meant to happen. I am not out there dating like crazy. I am not pursuing anyone. I am not on dating apps. I should do a whole other video on dating apps. Dating apps are not meant for you to find someone. They would lose money, okay? Dating apps are meant to keep you perpetually single, because then you'll keep perpetually paying, okay? That's a whole other side topic. When you heal and you release a lot of the gunk and the stuff that you were carrying around when it comes to romantic relationships, you free up space. Energetically, right now, my aura has a lot of space for my man to come in, and he will. His energy will find me, his frequency will find me, and I am more than sure that he will text me and call me and plan dates, and we'll be able to support each other and grow and laugh and go on adventures, and he won't have to read between the lines around what I'm saying. I won't have to read between the lines around what he's saying, because we've both done the work on ourselves, healed what needed to be healed, and now we're holding an energetic space for each other to come into one another's life. That's it. And what I've also come to understand through a lot of my spiritual studying, I'm going to do a video on the hermit phase, but part of your spiritual awakening is you will go through a hermit phase, and my hermit phase has been years long. I'm out of it now, but during the hermit phase, you do a lot of learning, and you do a lot of healing, and you do a lot of studying, and you do a lot of reading around things that are energetically aligned for you. And what I've learned and what I'm completely fascinated with is true love. When it's defined spiritually, this is what I've come to understand. It arrives later in life because the divine feminine and the divine masculine, regardless of gender, have both been through similar experiences, similar journeys, similar learnings, and they've healed, cleared out the gunk, and made space. They're holding space for each other. But the interesting thing is the divine feminine is more often than not ready before the divine masculine is. The divine feminine is a little bit further ahead when union is near. And that's why the divine feminine will feel like, I can feel his presence, but he's not here yet. And it's because the divine feminine is energetically just a little bit ahead of the divine masculine. And this is where she, the divine feminine energy, creates that space energetically and sends a frequency to him, and it signals, oh, this is someone who's holding space for me. This is someone who can see me for who I am. This is someone who's an energetic match. This is someone who has done a lot of work on themselves. Whoa, this is an evolved divine feminine. This is a divine feminine who's not chasing. This is a divine feminine who will meet me where I'm at. This is the divine feminine that I can lead and pursue and protect while she nourishes, challenges, supports, and builds me. Because that's what the divine feminine and divine masculine are here to do. You're meant to build together, whether it's an empire or a quiet little life in a village. You're meant to build together. And the other interesting part is there's more often than not a significant age gap. And it's usually 7 to 8 years. And I want you to think about that for a second. Jennifer Aniston, who I adore, is in a relationship with I think his name's Jim, and I'm so sorry, Jim, not that you're watching this, but I forget his last name. And they have been, friends for a while, but they just, kind of made it official. And I was reading about them the other day where he is 50 and Jennifer Aniston's 57. And immediately I thought about that. I was like, yep, that's her match. That is her energetic match. You can see it in the way she's carrying herself. You can see it in her eyes. You can see it in his eyes. You can actually see it in their aura. They're both sparkling right now because she's done a lot of work on herself to heal herself. He has as well. Energetically, they're a match, and boom. I think that's endgame for her. I see that it's endgame for her. So if you want to do a little bit of research on that, look at the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the divine relationships that through the test of time have kind of showed that the feminine will be a little bit older, and right before union, the divine feminine will just have to hold herself until the masculine is ready. And it doesn't mean that she's waiting, okay? There's a difference between holding and waiting. And I want to bring this, there's okay, interesting. Sorry, there's just a man at the end of the driveway looking in at me because I have lights and a camera. Anyway, you made me lose my train of thought, stranger. Okay, yeah, do some research on the divine feminine, divine masculine, the kind of age difference and how the divine feminine is usually ahead of the game. Oh, what I wanted to say was a divine feminine is not waiting, okay? I am not sitting here waiting for my man. He's energetically headed my way. I'm just holding space, meaning I'm not getting myself involved in sticky situationships or stuff that's just is not energetically aligned. I'm holding space. I am working on myself daily. I am building businesses. I am working on my channel. I am spending time in nature. I'm writing. I'm podcasting. I'm designing. I'm journaling. I'm sleeping. I'm doing all the things. I'm just holding space so that energetically he knows, wow, that's her. There she is. There's the person that is my energetic match. And what I've also read is, sorry, I keep checking the time. What I've also read is, and I believe this to be true, if you are going on a first date with someone and the butterflies and the stomach flips and the nervous energy is out of control, that's not your person. There's a level of excitement when you're going on a first date, but those butterflies are actually your nervous system trying to adjust to that person's energy. Your nervous system is working overtime to try to calibrate to their energy. When you meet someone who is an energetic match for you, whether that's a new best friend, a colleague, a boss, a business partner, or a romantic partner, your nervous system will be pretty calm. You will be calm in their presence. You will just be able to sit and exist in who you are in their presence. Now, will you be giddy and excited? Of course you will. But I'm talking about the almost nauseousness, like the stomach flips, the shaking and the your throat chakra's closing up and your heart's beating a mile a minute. Guys and girls, that's your nervous system trying to calibrate to that person's energy. It means that that energetic frequency is just not aligned with you. So your body's like, oh, this person's here. Well, we got to fix ourselves. And that happens everywhere you go, which is why, some of us now, I can't spend time out in malls and things because I'm just there's so much energy and frequency around that I come home and I'm all unbalanced and I have to recalibrate myself. So yeah, if you go to a party and you walk in and you're the vibes are off, it's because the vibes are off with your frequency. So if you meet someone, a new group of friends or some colleagues, and you're I don't like how I feel, that's just your body telling you, ooh, this person's not an energetic match. We're trying to adjust ourselves. So I am not sitting on these videos to preach to you and tell you what you should or shouldn't do or how to live your life or anything like that. All I want to do with this channel is just share with you what I've learned, and hopefully some of it resonates with you and you can go, yeah, you know what? That girl from that Jenspiration Conversation, she did say that, maybe I should take a beat and stop dating for a little while and work on this, that, or the other thing. Or, you know what? If I look back at the 2 exes that I just had, while they looked completely different, they treated me the same. What in that should I unpack? If you have exes that have all treated you the same way, that's not about them. Sorry to say, but that's not about them. That's about you. It is you. Okay? It is you. So once you figure that out, then you won't be energetically drawn to that type of person anymore. You will attract in an energetic frequency that matches you. And I'm going to close by just saying again, to my divine feminines out there, you need to stop pushing so hard, and you need to stop chasing, and you need to stop pursuing, because it's just creating more and more and more resistance. Because again, the person, the place, the family, the friends, they will all be energetically aligned for you when you look at it and say, okay, this friend is texting me. This person is showing up for me. This person is doing these things. This person is a person of their word. This person, I feel valued and reciprocity in this relationship. I feel an equal effort on their part. This feels aligned. Because if one person is doing all of the work and the other person's doing bare minimum, that is not reciprocity. And it's interesting because I had someone ask me the other day, what are you looking for in a partner? And my answer now is effort and reciprocity. It has nothing to do with how much money they make, what they do for a living, what they look like, or how tall they are. The top 2 things for me right now as I sit here is reciprocity and effort. Because I haven't had it ever. I haven't had equal give and take in friendships, in business, in work, in love. And I've never had someone who matched my effort. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now. Reciprocity and effort. And if I'm going to get cheeky, someone who likes American football, because I'm a football girly. Anyway, sidebar. That is the message for today, friends. It's a little bit of a longer video, which is why I sat here on my couch and I just wanted to talk to you human to human, soul to soul, energy to energy. If anything in this video resonated, yes. Thank you so much. Comment below if you feel like sharing any of your experiences. But if there's one thing to take away from this, I want you to drill in Maureen Dowd's quote in your head. The minute you settle for less than you deserve, you get even less than you settled for. Mic drop. Okay? Drill that into your head. The other thing I want you to take away is know for a fact, without question, don't let any of your overthinking take over here. Know for a fact that the person meant for you will show up, text, call, plan, effort, be reciprocal, want to spend time with you. I am 100% sure of that. Okay, and you should be too. And do not settle for less than that. Free yourself from your situationship, or you're hanging out, or we're just talking, or we're whatever. Free yourself from it. Heal it, let it go, so you can energetically make space for your person. I hope this video finds you in your power, in your self-love, in your self-worth. This whole time, I've had a self-love frequency on in the background, so I'm like subliminally sending it to you as well. So if you want to grab one on YouTube, put one on while you maybe talk to yourself or heal or whatever. Thank you for having this Jenspiration conversation with me. I always appreciate your time, your energy, and your effort and reciprocity to be here. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.